Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Code with Gakenye. My good name is Gakenye. I know guys, it's been long since I last uploaded a video. Sorry for that. And actually on today's video, I want to show you how you can be able to make a landing page for your Portifolio website. So the thing which I want to make is like the one which you're seeing on your screen. So the one which you're seeing on the screen currently now, this is the landing page of my Portifolio website. So I want to show you how I made it and how easy it is to make such a landing page. So this is my personal Portifolio website, and I will be using it as our reference. So on this project we will be using 3 languages, that is HTML for the basic structure of the website, CSS for the styling of the website, and JavaScript for the case of giving some functionalities. Sorry for that. And also you need a strong internet connection because we'll be getting some libraries and APIs from the internet. And also at the end of the video I'll show you how you can be able to host such a website in the internet. So having said that, before I forget, I want to ask you to take a second of your time, go to YouTube, search for Code with Gakenye, and hit that subscribe button there. Guys, currently we are at 127 subscribers. Let's reach 200 subscribers. So having said that, I think now we can start with our project. So for this case, as you usually know, I prefer using the VS Code. So in your VS Code, I need you to create a folder in which your work will contain your work. So in that folder, for my case I've called it Portifolio. In that folder you can see it has 2 folders. Now the first folder is for the images and the other one is for the JavaScript files. So, and you also have an index.html and a style.css. So in my index.html, I have already added some links. For example, I've linked the CSS file. Here it is. I have also linked the font awesome CDN. There it is. And also linked the type.js link. So guys, if you don't know how to link these how to get these links, kindly check on my previous videos in which I've done, and you'll be able to know how you can get these links. So for the case of my CSS, I have got the link for font families which we'll be using in this project, like the legs of Updog, Lobster, and the Poppins. So for this case, I have done a video on this one also. You can also go and see how we integrate Google Fonts into our websites. So having said that, we now start with the first part. So the first part of our project, we will start by creating a header similar to this one in my Portifolio, this one here. But on today's video I won't show you how to make it the light theme and the dark mode. That will be for another video. So let's start by creating a header tag, and inside the header tag we want to let it have a logo. So you create another div with a logo, class name logo. You can give it a h2 tag, and you can write your name or the name of your channel or anything. Feel free to write anything. So for my case I will write my Portifolio website. So having done like that, we'll come and also create now a tag called nav. In this tag we will use the ul li tags. And at this point of li tags, if your website, let me show you. So if your website will have these things, how do I put them, like links, this one. So for this case you can see we have 6. So in order to prevent from typing and typing li, then you put the href. Let me show you how you do it. So you come and press the asterisk sign, shift 8, the number of links that you want, that is for my case I want 6, and then you put an anchor tag. So when you press there, you see they multiply according to the number of the LIS you want. So for this case, let's first because we won't put active links for now, let's just put the href with sorry, so upon selecting them, you make sure they have, or you have put hash. So for the first one, we'll call it home, which you are making, which I'm showing how you can make it. Number 2 is all about, is the about me page. Then from there we can confirm. Services, skills, projects, and contacts. So let me just copy them here, then I will be dragging them one by one. So upon finishing doing like that one, we'll also come and create another in the same, after the closing nav tag, we'll come and create another div, which we'll call it menu toggle, which we'll use it when we are designing the website to be used in small devices like your phone. So you use this section, just call it .menu toggle. It's only just a div which has a class menu toggle. Then from there, I want now we go to our CSS, we style this header. So as I usually say, we start with the asterisk sign and say let padding be 0, margin be 0, and box sizing to be border box. So from there we come now straight to our header, so that we can see the changes. Let me minimize this window, and also let me also minimize this one. So here is how our portfolio looks like. This is the head actually. So we want to style it up. So I think there's an error here, so let me correct it. Then in the style, we say header, its width let it be 100%. Its height, just give it a height of about 70 pixels. Display, and give it let it be flex. Justify content, you can let it to be space between. Align items, let it be at the center. Then the background, you can give any color which you want background. For this case, let me just give it a black, and then the color I make it to be gold. You can see that it looks like. So even before we reach the header, before the header, we come and select the body. We give it a background color, background linear gradient. You can put 50 degrees, and then this color code RGB 2517 54. This color code 1. And then color code 2 will be RGB 12. So you can see this is how our body will look like. So from there, I think now we can change now our background. Let's first delete these ones. So our background, you can put it as transparent. Then for the case of its visibility, let's use the color, let it be light gray. And then we need to put a backdrop filter, which is supposed to be blur, then 10 pixels. Then from there, you come and say border bottom, let it be 8 pixels, solid gray, light gray, sorry, I think it's a little too big. Yeah, there it is. Then from there, we come now and work to, even before we go to the next stage, let's say also padding, let it be 50 pixels by 50 pixels. It is. And also let it be 0 at this point there. Yeah. Then we come to the next stage, we work on the logo, header.logo, logo h2. We come and say let its font family be updoc. There it is. Font weight, let it be around 700. Actually, let me just maximize the screen here, and then so having done that, font decoration, not font decoration but text decoration, sorry for that. You come and say underline 2 pixels solid. Then we come and also increase the font size, let it be 40 pixels. Yeah, there it is. And then the font style, let it be normal. There it is. And from there, now we want to come and work up to for this section. So you come and say let header ul li, let it have a position, or its position be relative. Float, let it be left. And also list style, let it be none. It is. Then from there we go to the next part, which will be header ul. Now we want to work on the anchor tag. It is. We come and say let font family, let it be Poppins. There you can see the font family has changed. Also the color, let it be light gray. There it is. Now we want to space these words. I come and say margin, let it be just 10 pixels by 10 pixels. You can see I have spaced out. Then from there I come and say the font weight, we can put it to be around 500. It depends on how you want the font to be thick. Then I say text decoration, let be none. And then I come and say let its position also be relative. Then from there I come and say I want to create it such that whenever I hover on it, a line from a line draws itself from the left to the right. So I'll come and say header ULLIA. After I put the after pseudo element, and I come and say let the content be none. We say none by putting a single quotation mark. Then from there we come and say let its width be 100%, its height be let it be 3 pixels, left let it be 0, bottom let it be -3, -3 pixels, its position not been positioned first, background let it be also light gray, and its position let it be absolute. So you can see here the lines. Then from there here are the lines. So let's now reduce the width to be up 0%. Then I come and say transition the 1 second is in this one. Then from there we come and say header. I want it such that whenever I hover the lines draws itself automatically. So what will happen is that we just copy the same way it is, ULLIA. For this case now I'll start with hover, this one here, and then I put the pseudo element after. Then I come and say let width be 100%. So whenever I hover you can see the line draws itself. I think I should also reduce this time here, let it be 0.5. Yeah, there it is. You can see how beautiful it is. So actually the reason why these links have not reached up to this point is simply because there is a class which we called menu toggle, which we for this case in the large screen we want to use it. So what we'll come and do, we'll go to the style.css and say dot menu toggle. Come and say let its display be none. Display be none. Let me check on something. Sorry, let me spell it. It's supposed to be menu toggle. Now you can see all the fonts have gone to the far right. So also it depends on how you want it. For my case, let me add the font weight to be around 700. That's good. And from there, in my Portifolio website, you can see it's almost similar. Now I want to create this section in which it contains the details. So what we'll do is that we'll come back to our code editor, and we call after the closing header tag, we come and create a new div with an ID called home. So in order to have an ID, we use hash, and in order to have a class we use a dot. So in this div we want to have to portray our picture at the far right and our details on the far left. So we need to use we'll have to create to make a column. So it will be, I will call it dot, I will just call this container.row, and in it I will have 2 columns. So it will be dot col 1 plus dot col 2. So there it is. In our first column will contain all these details here which are seeing here, this one. So in the first one you can just copy the way like mine looks like. So it will be h2, say hi, Then from there, after writing John Doe, I think first now we need we come and create another div, not another div specifically, but you can come and see. Now we want to create this part in which it is typing itself, saying the backend of developer, such things. So what you come and do, we come and say span. We come and say I'm a web, not even a web developer. We can say I'm a software engineer. It depends on what you want to write. You can write anything according to what you're majoring in. Then from there, we come and create a p tag. We write a small paragraph. For my case, we'll use the lorem ipsum, but for your case, we can write any real information. Or you can also go through my way and write just a small detail about yourself. So lorem ipsum. Let me first return to my website. For this case, I'm sure you cannot see anything, but here are the text which you have written. So even before going and typing the lorem ipsum, let's first make these ones visible. We come to our style.css. We come and write the name of our new div, which is home, and actually make sure that the spelling is correct, because sometimes whenever you miss a letter or you misspell the word of a div, it won't work. So we start by saying let's with the 100%. Its height, let it also be 100 VH, not 100, but we can say 90 SVH. It is. Also, you can give it some padding. Its padding be 50 pixels by 70 pixels. Yeah, it looks great. Then from there, we can now come and say let color be light gray. So now you can see you're able to see the content. So from there, we can also come and say, now we go back to our index.html, we type our lorem. So let me add another paragraph there of lorem. It is. Then from there, we'll go back to my initial portfolio. You can see there's a button which is telling us to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So so we come also and create under the p tag. We come and say and create a button dot, we give it a class name subscribe. It is, and come and type subscribe to my channel. Then from there, also return again and to check what else is there. Now we create the social media icons here. So we'll come and also create another div. After the button closing tag, we come and create another div called social media tags, social media, just like that. And then we come in for the case for this case we'll be using the font awesome icons. And as I said earlier, if you have not seen the video on how to use the font icon, you can just look for it, but for this case I'll just go straight to the point. So our first icon, we can give each an icon a class called background, and inside background, now we come and type the code for the icon. So for this case it will be the I tag, then class, equals to FA. Let me first borrow this one since my minus button is not working correctly in my keyboard. So it will be far. Since they are social media icons, this means that they are brands. Sorry for that. Let me just copy another one. They paste it. Since the social media icons are brands, we come and say brands and then FA again. Now the minus sign, and now there we put the name of the icon which you want to insert in your website. For this case, I will start with Instagram. There it is, Instagram. You can see the Instagram icon has appeared. Then from there, let me delete this one, and now I can duplicate this one, this div called background. This one I can give it a X for Twitter. You can see the X for Twitter, there it is. I also come and duplicate this one again, the two of them. So this one I can make it to be Facebook, but if you want the F, you just come and say F. So there's the F for Facebook, and then also the last one which you can add, let's add TikTok. So there's a TikTok sign. Then from there we come and see if there's another thing. No, there's not. So what we'll come and do, we'll come back to our code editor. We'll come now to our code editor. We now style these ones. So we'll come and say, if you remember well, there's a row there's a div which we'll call row. So now you have to work with this one. We give it some properties. So dot row, since we want it to display the two items, one on the left side and the other one's on the right side. So we'll come and use the display, let it be flex. Justify content, let it be space between, and its width should also be 100%. And from there we come now to, after the rows, now we come to the first column which I've given it a class column 1. So we come to column, so dot col 1, we say let its width be 100%, sorry, 100%, and its flex basis should be around 45%. So what has happened is that the flex basis, since we have put the row to be like 100%, the flex basis divides the row according to the percentage which you have given it. For this case, these words here, you can see from here to here, it's 45% of the 100% of the row column. Having said that, now we come and work on this part. which says hi, I'm John Doe. So before even, let's see, for this case I used the Poppins, sorry for that. So we'll come now and work on this directly. We come and say .col one. I think I give it a h2 if I'm not wrong. Yeah, h2. And then from there we come in. We want now to work on it. So font size, you can give it around font size you can give it around 45 pixels. There it is. And then margin, not even margin, but font family should be Poppins. There it is. Poppins. And then from there something else we can add on it. We can add also the font weight, such things. So it will be font weight, we can give it around 500. And remember guys, when we are writing font weight, we don't write it in terms of measurements, like for example pixels, VH, things like that. You just type it, there it is. If it is 700. So there it is. Then from there we now come and work for this part, which says I'm a software engineer. So this actually we need to make it look the same as this one, the way it is typing itself. So what we're gonna do, we are going to come and create a file, but before that let's first design the whole this block, and then from there we can now go to the JavaScript and make it type itself and delete itself. So let me return to this one. And then what we're gonna do now, we give it a name span, so it will be .col1 span come and say let margin top let be 20 pixels. .col1 span. Actually you're supposed to give it an ID so that you can be able to reference it on JavaScript. So for this one you can call it career. And then we can give it a font family, fantasy. Sorry. We can see, and then from there we give it a font size of around 30 pixels. There it is. Or we can change this one to lobster. Yeah, there it is. And then from there we can give it a text decoration, let it be underline 2px solid, 2px light gray. I think the light. Should be careful in terms of writing. And from there now we come to this section of the lorem span, where you have written spell about for yourself. You come and say .col1 span span. We can come and say font family. You can also give it a font family like let's give it lobster. And for the case of the span section here, where we are saying I'm a software engineer and things like that ones, we come and say give it let it be a fantasy for this case. size, not span, but sorry, supposed to be P, paragraph tag. There it is, you can see. Then from there you come and say font size, give it around 18 pixels. Let's see how it will look like. I think it's good. Then margin top, give it 20 pixels. There it is, I think it's okay. Then from there, we now come and work on our subscribe button. So you just come and call one.subscribe. There it is. Now we come and select its width be around 50% of the total width. And from there we come and say its height will be like 40 pixels. Let me check on why it's not responding. Maybe I've misspelled subscribe. Index.html, okay. There it is. I had misspelled the word, that's why it was not working. And from there I give it a margin top. It will also be 20 pixels. Then from there we can give it another color, not a color but a background color, RGB. You can come and scroll here and look for a suitable color. I think that color is not that bad, but you can choose any color depending on how you want it to look like. Then from there we come and say let border be none, outline to be also none, and also the border radius to be, so actually what the border radius is that it makes the ends of for example of this button to be smooth, to be curved in a way. So for this case I will put 5 pixels. Now you can see the difference, the button seems how to be curved. Then from there you can come and say let the color of the text be give it a font family. Font family, you can give it Poppins, and then font weight I can give it around 700, and then text color let it just remain the way it is. Let me give it a text decoration be underline, give it 3 pixels. And also guys, don't be like me, don't misspell the word YouTube. Let me actually first correct it. Sorry for that. There it is. And also you can add an icon of the YouTube on it, so you just come in this section here, copy this one, Then you come and edit it here and just say let it be YouTube. And now you can see the YouTube icon has presented itself. And from there we come to the style. So we also add some properties, like for example when you bring the cursor here, you can see it's just an arrow. So let's change the shape of the cursor and give it a pointer. There it is, you can see. And from there we want to give this button some transitions. So you can say transition 1 second is in. It is. Then we come and give it a actually I have misspelled this word subscribe, but it's okay provided you write it the way you can understand what each code means. It's okay. So hover, whenever I hover it should be number 1, it should have a box shadow 0 0 10 pixels, the same color code it gave it. Now you can see its color code is big. It's having a box shadow, but I think we can add it a little bit to 20 pixels. There it is, looking great, looking awesome. Then from there we come now to this section which we call it social media. We copy it. Now I want to work on this section. So for this section the width should be 100%, and also as you can see the icons, they are arranging themselves vertically. We want them to arrange themselves horizontally, so we're gonna use a property called display, let it be flex. Now you can see here they are. Then from there we can come and say like the margin top should be around 40 pixels, not 40 but 20 pixels. There it is. And then the height of this div should be around 50. Let's first try 40 pixels for the purpose of clarity and seeing how it looks, how its size is. Let's first give it a border and then we're going to comment it later. So border 2 pixels, solid, light gray, solid. There it is. So you can see here are the icons. So inside here we want them I justify content, let it be space between, so that there can be space between these 3 social media icons. I think also the height is so big, let it give it around 60%. I think that is enough. Then from there we say we align the items center. There it is. And also it should have a padding of around 10 pixels by 10 pixels. Sorry for that. And then from there you can now come to the social media, this section here. Let me show you. We give it a class name background, this one. So you copy it, so that background you come and give it a it's with the 40 pixels. Its height let's also be 40 pixels. Its background let it be this color code, which you give it this one, which you give to the subscribe button. So there they are. And then let's say display flex, align, flex, align item should be center, justify content should also be center. So you can see they have brought the content at the center. So what we want to come and do is that we need to make them have a border radius of a, actually what I mean, I want to make the shape of this the shape of this box or container name background to be round in color. So what it's gonna do is just say border radius 50%. There we are. Then from there we come and remove this one color code there. We say let background be transparent. There it is. Then also we come and comment on this one, the border, this light gray border here. And then we come and say we create a border, give it a 2px solid. We give it the color code with this color code. So now you can see. Then another thing we want to do on this one is that whenever we hover, we take our cursor here, it also have the same property as this one. So what you're gonna do at this point, we come and say, give it a transition. We say hover, transition 1 second is, then come and say dot social media dot background. You hover it, whenever you hover it gives you a border radius similar to this one, not a border radius but a box shadow similar to this one. So whenever we bring our cursor you can see. And also for the case of the cursor, we can give it, let the cursor be pointer. So for the case of this side, it's like we have finished. What we're remaining with is this part for this section here. So what you're gonna do is that you're going to back to our editor, code editor. We come to our JS files, we come and create a file, we call it typed.js. So in our type.js, we come now to our index first. So we call that part, that section in which will contain those words, we call it a span, which we have written software engineer for this case. So we come and copy this ID, which is career. Let me copy letter V because my keyboard also the letter V is not working. So in the type.js, we come and say, you come and paste and say var typed is equals to new var equals to new typed So in this type.js file, we come and write the word var. Var typed is equals to new typed with capital T, because whenever you typed with a small letter, it won't work. It will bring actually an error. So from there we put the brackets and then we put a quotation marks. So what actually we want to do is we want to reference where that typing animation will occur. So it will occur at this point here. We have career, this one. So you copy this ID and then we go to the type.js. So in this section there are two ways. So if it was a class, I would have used a dot, but since it is an ID, I will have to use a hash. So before even we paste it, let's put a hash and then we paste. There it is. Then after pasting, we come here. After the last quotation mark, the closing quotation mark, we put a comma, and then you open a curly braces, and then we type string. So strings, actually this one is the one that will contain all the words which you want to write. So it will be in form of an array. So first one I can write I'm a programmer. The second one I can write I'm a programmer. The second one we can write I'm a YouTuber. And the third one we can write a computer science student. And also, what else can we put? We can also, let's come to the index and cut this software engineer, and then we bring it to the typed, and also we add it here. So I know at this point you may be asking yourself why it is not working, why is it not typing itself. The reason is simply because we have not linked the JS files. So what we come and do, we come to the bottom of this page. Before the closing tag for the body, we come and write a script. You come and write a script tag, which will a script source tag. So actually what we'll do is this one is the one which will link our JS file. So we come and link it. There it is. That's the name of the folder, and then the name of the file. So as you can see in your screen, it's kinda typing itself. So when I refresh again, you can see it typing itself very fast. Now I want to control this. So in order to control those how it's typing itself, the speed and all that, we come back to this JS file. Just after the closing square bracket, we come and put a comma, and then we come and say back type speed. So this is the speed in which it will be typing. So you just write the name, type, and then a speed with capital P, and then you give it a speed which you want. For this case, I can say let it type at a speed of 100. You can see it's typing itself very slowly, but compared to the speed that it is deleting itself. So what you're gonna do for the case of the deleting speed, we come and say back speed, and also make sure that the speed is with capital S, and then you can give it also a 50 or even 100, depends on how you want it. So as you can see here, the typing speed is a bit faster, the back speed. So let me just give it 100. So as we wait for it to finish typing, you'll notice one thing. After it finished typing up to the word software engineer, it won't continue typing itself again. I want to wait and see. So as you can see, whenever it has finished at software engineer, it's like it has finished. It's not back typing again and then starting again to like a programmer. So in order you want it to type itself, whenever it reaches the software engineer, it goes back again to the programmer. So what we'll do is that we'll come and use give another property called loop. We say loop equals to true. So actually what will happen is that it will when it reaches the point software engineer, it will start again to a programmer. So let's wait and see. Now you can see it's saying I'm a programmer, I'm a YouTuber. You can see a computer science student, and now a software engineer. Then you see it deletes itself and it will start again a programmer. So that's how we do it. That's all about the type.js animation. For the library link, I will leave it in the description, but also you can check it on a video which I've done on about type.js. So having done that, I think on the far left side we have finished. Now what is remaining is on the right side where we will put an image, our image, and then after putting our image, you'll make the website mobile responsive such that you can use it in your device or any gadget, be it a tablet, a smartphone, any. So what will come now, I will do is that I will go to our code editor again. In our code editor, in this column 2 here, which you're seeing here, we'll come and just insert our picture directly. So you can come and say, there are two ways. You can either put it as an image, or you can even put it as a background. By the way, let's just put it as a background image so that you can be able even to do some gradient, put some linear gradient on it. So we'll come and say dot call to, its width is 100. For this case, we can reduce its size. We can come and say its width, we can give it a width 400 pixels. Its height, we can give it around also 400 pixels, so that the image can be in a circular form. So we can give it a background. So for the case of the background, we'll give the image the background will be our image now, which we want to put there. So it will be background. You come and say linear. First you can put it like just like this. You open your image folder, and then you put your image. So you can see this is the case of our image here. So what we'll do is that with okay. So flex base is supposed to be around 50%. So you can see here is our image. So what we'll actually do is that we can reduce the size, or you can bring it a little bit down. You can come and say margin top. We'll give it around 100 px. So low, let's just give it an 80 pixels. And then there, for this case, let's first not even comment it, but delete this part and come and say linear gradient to 50 degrees. RGB, we're going to use the color of the background. RGB, we put this color code. It will be 2517, and then 54, and then put a comma. You come and say RGB 12. Then from there you come and put a comma and say URL dot images, the name of the image. So having done like that, putting the background, you can be able to see the image, but it's not that clear. So you come and play with this part of the now you can see the image is somehow visible. So we need to make this image to be like circular in shape. For example, like this one here of mine. So what you're gonna do, I think let's do some changes in this CSS here. So comment on this one first. After commenting on that one, come and write this one be, the width be 500 pixels, and also the height to be 500 pixels, so that you can be able to make the radius, the picture a perfect circle. Then from there you can come and also reduce the margin top, let it be 0. Okay, then from there we can give it a margin right, let it be 50 pixels. Okay, then from there we need this picture to be in form of a perfect circle, so we come and say border radius should be 50%, and also we can give it a small border. So a border, by the way, you can give it an animation. No, I don't. You can give it a border. Let's just give it a border. So a border, you can give it a border of about 2px, solid what? Solid light gray. It is, but I think we can make the picture to be a little more, the grayness to be a little more dim. It looks perfect, and also the picture is somewhat kind of dim. We also need to work on it. So what you're gonna do for the picture, I think we also need to play again with this so I think the best way is you just remember like the way it is. So this is how we make our landing page. This is our landing page for our Portifolio website. So what we are going to do now is that now we want it to check how it will look on our mobile devices which have small screens. So we will right click and then inspect. We come and inspect. There it is. Mine has already opened, so you can see in a small screen. Let me show you in a small screen, like a screen of an iPhone 14 Pro Max. iPhone 14. It is. So you can see how it looks pathetic, to be honest. And also I forgot to introduce to you something. So when you are making the header, so for example when you scroll here, you can see the header is moving up. So the header is supposed to remain fixed. So what we'll come and do, we'll come and to our CSS, the section which we have called it header, and come and say let its position be fixed. So let's first try to see. So you can see the position is not moving at all, it's fixed. So what you're gonna do, let's first. So actually what now you're gonna do, since the position is fixed, now we are gonna adapt to adjust all these things here, be it the text and the image. So we'll come and say, come to this section here, I think it was row. So in the part of the row, we'll come and say margin. Let's see if margin top will work, allow it will be. So you can see the margin top has worked perfectly. So what we're gonna do is that I think there's some issue. Let me confirm something. So the best solution for this is by putting the margin top to be 100 at this position here. At the row position, just put it 100 pixels. There it is, it's okay. Then when we inspect, let's see how it will look like. So let's wait for it. So in terms of inspection, you can see how it looks like. We say it's looking like pathetic. So what you're gonna do is that we're gonna have now to work on this one and make change the CSS. So what we'll do, use some other CSS properties called media queries, which I will show you how we work. So we'll start by media queries. So it will be at media queries, at media screen, and let me just first reduce the size of this one. There it is. So actually I can minimize the two screens, this one, and then use that one back. So what media screen and max screen. So actually what I mean here is that when I iterate max screen, not max screen but max width, supposed to have a hyphen, max width, it should be 500 pixels. So what I mean by saying this, that the CSS that I would put for this part here is the CSS for only those screens which are their width is within 500 pixels. So if a screen is bigger than 500 pixels, it cannot work. So we'll start by working with by creating the header. So what we'll start by, so what we'll do, we'll first this home section, we'll need to comment it, and then we will uncomment it later so that you can be able only to focus with the screen. So we'll start with at media screen. Screen and max width and screen and max width, which is supposed to be inside a bracket. So whenever I want to explain something here, so you can see for this case I've said media screen and max width is supposed to be 500 pixels. So this statement actually means that this CSS which I'm about to apply at this point, it will only be applied to those screens those screens which width is within the 500 pixels. So be it from 94, 99, 260, all those three. The CSS for that screen will be this one which I'm defining now. So we'll come and select body. You can start by saying body equals to background, give it a background color. RGB, this one. So after giving it, now we want to work on the header. So for the case of the header, we now work with this section here, .log. So the header will just come and say let its width be 100%, and also padding should be 0. Padding should be 0. So you can see there's no padding at all. And from there, another thing we can come and change is that the header.log can come and say let its font size be like 20 pixels. Let me check on something. It was header.log h2. You can see it says has changed. Then from there we come and say, so since it is on the left side, so we say margin margin should be margin left, we specify the side should be 10 pixels so that it should not be on the border. And from there we come, and now there's another thing I want to introduce. So for this case, you can see we are having a section called nav. So this nav is the one that will help us to make a good navigation section for the header. So we'll come and say copy it and come and say in the style header nav, paste it there, come and say its width is supposed to be like a 50% of the header. Also you can see it there. Also you can give it a background color. You can give it a color like for this for right now we're giving a color just to see, so you can give it a color like a color black, so you can see it's how it is. Then we come and say its position should be absolute. Now you can see it's over the logo, so we need to bring this one from here up to down up to this point. So you come and say top should be the width, the height the top should be the height of the header. So for this case I think I give the header 70 pixels, so this one here, so add 70 pixels. So I'll just come and copy it and then I paste it here. So you can see it's not now above the logo. And then another thing, we come and say header nav ULLI. So simply what I want to do is that you can see they are in forms of two rows, this one, and this one. So now I want to make it such that they align themselves vertically, and each line here it will be only having one link. So we come and say let the width be 100%. So now you can see they have arranged themselves vertically. Then from there we come and say give them a small margin of about 10 pixels. I think it's enough so that we can be able to separate. There it is. So up to that point I think it's like we are done with it. Now we want to create a part in which we'll have a box here, which will have an X. Let me show you actually what I'm speaking about. So this is what I'm speaking about. We want to create this section here. Whenever I click, it displays those links. I'm used for screens below 500 pixels, like a screen of an iPhone 14 Pro Max. So this so we can see this is a screen of an iPhone 14 Pro Max. We can see the way it is. So whenever I click there, it brings the table, the menu. So that this section is the one which I want to create. And in order to create that section, if you remember well, in the HTML code is a section which we call .menu toggle. This one here. So this section is actually the one which we'll use. So let's dig into the code. So we come and say .menu toggle. First you have to say display should be flex. Reason being, let me take you back. There's a section that we said menu toggle should be display should be null. So if you don't put a display flex, it will, or block, it won't show. So what we're gonna do, we give it a width of around 40 pixels, a height of around 40 pixels. We give it a background color light gray. Light gray. You can see here it is that box. Then we give it a margin right 10 pixels so that you can move from the border. There it is. Then we need to make it a circle, so it will be border radius should be 50% to make it a perfect circle. There it is. Now we want to create, after creating it like that, now we want to create the 3 lines inside this box here. So what we come and do is that we come and say dot menu toggle. We enter pseudo element before, and then we come and say content. As I said, content actually at this point we say it's none by putting the quotation marks, and then we come and say let its width be 100%, its height be 3px, background should be black or any other color that you'd like to put. So for this point you can see it's up here, it's a small one, but in order for it to align at the center, first let's just finish this part. I come and say transform. I need it to be 2, so I'll come and say box shadow. I'll create a duplicate of it by just doing like that. So now you can see there are 2, and then I come and say transform, translate y. So what it actually mean by saying translate y is that I want for them to go up. So at this point you cannot see the difference. So at the menu toggle you're supposed to come and say justify content, it should be center, and also align item should be also at the center, so that you can be able to see the difference. So now you can see they are at this point. So I want them to go up a little bit, so I'll come and say translate y. I want it to go up by 10 pixels, so I'll come and say negative 10 pixels. So you can see they have gone up. Then from there I just duplicate this one the way it is, then I paste it here, but it's only that I'll change the pseudo element, which will be after. I only need 1 line. For this case I will not duplicate. So I delete this one. And also at this point here it's supposed to be a positive. And also I forgot another very important attribute which we are supposed to put it here. So the reason why they are you can see it's like they are half is simply because I do not put the position. So for this case I have to put a position at the menu. For example, let me show you. For example, let's say I put this point, the position, the 2 points in the before and the after, the position to be absolute. So if you check well, you can see the lines, they are even out of the box. Let me use a color which you can be able to see. Let me just use like color white. Color white, and then for the case of the positions I put it to be absolute. You can see the lines are even out of the box. So in order to contain this one, you need to come to the menu toggle and say let the position be relative. So let's also change these colors so that you can be able to see they are somehow inside the box. So let's change it back to black. You can see they're inside the box, but the width of the line is too big. So what I'll do, I will reduce it up to around 75%. 75%, okay. So if you check at this point, I wrote justify tracks. Not supposed to be justify tracks, but justify content is supposed to be center. Sorry for that. So now you can see they are at the center. So now we want to add a JavaScript code in which we'll be using whenever I click it changes back to an X, and whenever I click again, it changes back to three lines of code. So what actually I'm saying is this. So at this point you can see that the 3 lines, there are 3 lines, but whenever I click them, they change into an X. So this is what I want to show you how you do it. So we come and write a line of code. For this case, you can write the code to the JS files. We come and create a new file and call it toggle.js. So in this toggle.js, we are supposed to say let header. We are supposed to reference the header. Let header is equals to document dot query selector header. So actually what we are selecting is the header itself, and from there we also come and say let menu toggle is equals to document dot query selector dot menu toggle. This is simply because we are referencing to a div which was a class called menu toggle. Then from there come and say menu toggle dot on click is equals to function. There is a function and then the curly braces. So I come and say header dot class list dot toggle bracket, and then a minute away I will explain let me finish the first section in the code and then I will explain what it means. Then I can say act. So the code simply means like this: menu toggle dot on click. This is whenever I click this. Let me return back. Whenever I click this section, this menu toggle, it will add a class called act. It's supposed to be active. Let me just put it to full words. Let me still a B. Look for a B since my keyboard the letter B is not working. So active. So whenever I click on this section here, it will either add or remove a class called active. So in order for it to work, first you have to define how the active class will be like. So you come back to the HTML, to the style.css, and then I say header with reference to those two sections which you wrote, header dot that class which will add in the header, which is called active. Let me just copy that word. Active. Then when I click the menu toggle before, what will happen? This one, I copy this one the way it is. It's all about asking what will happen. So that is, whenever I click this, I click the menu toggle, the first two buttons which are for the element before, what will happen to them? So those two, they are supposed to, number one, they are supposed to transform and rotate to form an angle of 315 degrees. Okay. So number one, it's not working simply because we have not linked the JS file. So it will be just script again, source, it will be JS files, and then toggle.js. So let's see if it works. You can see they are changing. Whenever I click, it changes. So another thing I want, whenever it is changing at this point, it should be only one line. So I'll come and say, since one line which I made it was under box shadow, I'll come and say box shadow is supposed to be none. So whenever I click this one, you can see it's only like that one line is forming an angle of 315 degrees. So we come and duplicate this section the way it is, and then you paste. you paste it again, and now change the degrees to 45 degrees. Sorry, 45 degrees. So we come and change the pseudo element to after. Now you can see they are forming an X whenever I click. So actually guys, I've also made a video on this, so if you don't understand at this point, you can just go on my videos and check on a video which I've titled it, I think I've titled how to make a responsive header, so a responsive navigation bar, sorry. So I also want, whenever they are forming the X, to have a smooth transition. So I will come up to this point, this before section and the header section. I will add a property called transition, which will be 1 second is. So whenever I click, you can see they are taking 1 second to form the X and 1 second to form back to the 3 lines. So after doing that, now we want that whenever we click, this one shows, and whenever we click and the 3 lines are there, this one disappears. So what we'll come and do, we'll come to this section here, to the header section. So what we'll come and do, just come and copy the way it is header. For this case, it will be actually, sorry, it's supposed to be this section header now. So you just copy it the way it is, only just the header and the nav, and then you paste it here below it, and then you come and add the class dot active, that class which we made. Active, and then you come and say there it is. So even at this point, it's supposed to be its display, not even top. You can come and just say left, let it's left. There are several ways in which you can show this one. So number one, you can say display. You can use display, you say none. Okay, you can see it's not there, but whenever you click it, you can come and say display, let it be block. So whenever I click, you can see it's appearing. And also you can add a smooth transition on it. Just come to this section of the header, not there, transition, 1 second is, I think, sorry, it's let me just confirm something. So at this point one, you cannot add a simple transition. So another way in which you can also make it to appear, you can also comment on the display one, and come and say, for example, you want it to be coming from the left. So you come and say left equals to 0, and then not 0 necessarily, but supposed to be something like a negative. Let me negative, even any value like 600 px. So at this point you can see it's not visible, but when it comes to you click there, left should be 0. So you can see it is. You can see it's taking a period of 1 second and it's having a smooth transition. So you can use any. You can also change for the top. Yeah. So for this case, for the top, this 70 should be this 70 here. You can just bring it here, and then for the top at this point, you can give it a value with a negative, be a negative 1000 pixels, such things. It's all about creativity. So having done that part, now I want to make the other parts of the website to be responsive. So that is very quite simple. So we